Hi everybody, welcome back. We're going to get started today on our first program. I also said that I was going to talk to you a bit about why Java. Java is a high-level language. Java is, I find, my favorite because Java is also object-oriented, which I'm going to add in some text and words and things like this that we're going to come back to later. So I'm going to use some vocabulary that is probably new to a lot of people, but is very familiar to me, obviously, because I'm a programmer. But as we go along, we'll understand what that actually means. Making our first program and things like that. So if you have a look, this is my, like I said in the last video, I've got this book a few times. So this is the other version of the book. It's How to Program. I think this is the 7th edition. So there's a lot of different versions of it. And when you look through the book, it'll tell you kind of the history of programming and things like that, which I'll do another video on because I'm really interested in that as well, in my top 10 favorite figures of programmers and things like that, and people that have influenced computers. So obviously we've talked about Alan Turing and Steve Jobs and all these famous people. So but for the moment, we're going to download a thing called Eclipse, and we're going to do our first program in Java, which is very exciting. So let me just share my screen 1 second until I find where that is. So I've downloaded Eclipse from the Eclipse website. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to do the Eclipse installer. Open. So we're all good with Eclipse. There's also BlueJ you can also install. That's another program that I also learned how to program in Java with. So I've learned Java a few different times. I did a degree first, thanks to the instructors in the IT department in NU. I got it Best University of the Year. So it was Best University of the Year when I went there. So and obviously in my master's as well, I also took some Java courses as well. Dr. Martin Hughes was an amazing influence on my career development. So now we're just going to download the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. There's also different ones here, Enterprise, PHP, and different things like that you can download. But for the moment, this is what we're going to do. Let's put it in the default folders. So for me, this is Java 1.8. Virtual machine VM is the virtual machine, which we'll also pick up on some of the vocabulary that we're going to use. So IDE is integrated development environment. Git is your repository, which is like a versioning tool that you're going to use as well. And this is your installation folder, which I'm going to install now. Obviously, you can take the time to read this, but as it's a video, I've already read this and now I accept it. And it'll just go through this. Remember accepted licenses. So now, do you trust these certificates? I'm going to say, remember all of these, always accept. I'm always okay with that. Accept selected. Once you have this installed, you can launch it. It should come up a bit like this. Then we're going to look at our first program, which is always Hello World. When you look at other computer books, always make sure you do your first program as Hello World. There's a history behind it. I'm going to do another video on that later on. You have to create a workspace for this. So I'm going to launch that. So you can see here already, it says create a Hello World application, a guided walkthrough to create the famous Hello World in Eclipse. Of course, that's what we're going to do. And there's also lots of different tutorials and projects and everything like that in that. So within this integrated development environment, you can see here, if I expand it, you can see that there's a little bug here that's really cute. It's called debugging. So a little bit about the history. Grace Hopper or Hooper, depending on how you phrase it. She discovered the first bug in programming. It was a big, huge mainframe that she discovered it in the US military, which we'll do another video on later. So we have our create hello world application. So if we look at the introduction, we've already done this bit. We've already created some stuff. So here you can click to perform open Java perspective. That's all fine. This is in the Java perspective. Now we can click to perform create a new project. You always have to create a project and then put in the class in it. So I'm going to click that to perform that, and then you can put in a project name. For this project name, we're going to call it Hello World, as written here. You can see here, this is your Java runtime environment, this is your project layout, and then you can click finish after that. So we also need to create a Hello World class. So you can click here to perform, and you have to write just Hello World here, leave it at public, and click on your public static void main here. I'm going to also generate comments, that's normally what I do, and then click finish. So now that we've created our hello world.java class, so everything has the extension .java when it is a Java file. So the class is called Hello World. It's got a capital H, which we will come to in a while as well. And the next step I'm going to do is add my printed statement, which is system.out.println, copy. And I'm going to put it into my auto-generated method stub, which we will also come across in a bit as well. Stylistically, I'm going to put a space here for readability. I'm also going to run this, so I'm going to save it first. Save. So now we have everything ready. We've got public class hello world, parentheses or curly brackets as we like to say. This is where your perimeters go and your arguments. Then you've got public static void main. These are all things that we're going to learn in more detail. System out println hello world, and so when you run it, you should run it from here, or you can click on it here and run as Java application, and it will come up here in your console down here, hello world. So if you wanted to, you could say hello world Ali and run it again, and you can see what it does, and that comes up on your console here, and that's your first program. So well done.